Hi there, it's Carrie from Flowers for Dreams. Thank you so much for joining me again for another DIY floral arrangement where we'll design together week by week beautiful seasonal floral arrangements. Happy Thanksgiving! I hope you're excited. We've got a lovely fall palette, and this will be the perfect arrangement to put as a centerpiece on your table. And I'm hoping that this week you can take some time, decompress with your flowers, use that as a really good time to center yourself for all the busyness and the busy season that's gonna come. I've also got our Birchbox handy, so if you do happen to have one of these at home, this is a really great vase that you can reuse for a harvest centerpiece arrangement. I'll be designing in our mason jar. So I'll go ahead and fill up my vase with water all the way up. I'm gonna keep all those stems really hydrated. Nice clean water, room temp to cool is perfect. Have your clippers handy. Today we've got some beautiful reds and golds to kind of stick with that autumnal harvest feel. We've got our cushion palm mums, lovely orange fluffy types. We have our bronze solidago. Isn't that pretty? This is a local wildflower. It gets confused a lot with ragweed, unfortunately. So this does not cause any allergies, does not pollinate through the wind. It's a beautiful golden color and grows on the side of the road, but it is not that ragweed that so many people have allergies to in the spring and fall. So this is our Peruvian lily, Alstroemeria yellow. Great long-lasting flower. Always want to pick long-lasting flowers when you want your table arrangement to last for a week or more, of course. So today, if it's Monday or Tuesday for you and you're designing your flowers today, of course we want them to look really amazing for Thursday and enjoy them for the next couple of days. So long-lasting varieties are gonna work really well for our Thanksgiving centerpiece. We've got the Leucadendron Safari Sunset, beautiful burgundy color with this long stem. Now you may have, Cotinus smokebush, which is also a native Midwestern plant. It's got a similar long stem with these lovely purplish, reddish foliages. It's used a lot in the fall, and I absolutely love it. In the springtime, in fact, it has this gorgeous, its namesake, that smokebush, has this gorgeous hairy foliage that looks like smoke, prairie smoke, coming up from the center. So you may have either the Leucadendron, which you can tell has this little pod in the center, dries beautifully, or our Cotinus smokebush. And then for our focal flower, got the sunflower. Again, beautiful. Sunflower high season is June through maybe more like July through September. So our sunflowers may be a little bit on the smaller side this time of year, but I really think they add that like special harvest feeling to a Thanksgiving centerpiece arrangement, which is why I love them. And then we've got our salal foliage. It's our base foliage today. Oops, I almost missed one. Our other focal flower, oh, gorgeous heart's rose. Give that a smell. Mine's not too fragrant. Some commercial roses will vary in scent from very scented to not smelly at all, and that's because they're bred for very specific properties. So this heart's rose was bred to have a really high petal count. Garden roses typically have that really luscious, dense center, and this will continue to open up. It may have just a little bit of a scent. Mine's not too smelly today. Let's start greening our vase. I always think this is the hardest part if you are new to flowers. But pull out your salal foliages, and we do want to just clean that up a little bit. Pull off anything that doesn't look its best. I'll sometimes go in and take off those little tip pieces that are on the smaller side. Kind of clean up each stem, check for any damage that may have happened during the transport process. Okay, here's a great example of a salal piece that we can stem split. So this has got a lot of leaves on one branch, and I think I can get this into two pieces because I've got enough stem here to make that work. And I'm gonna want to clip as close as I can to that base leaf right there. So if you have a piece like this, you can sometimes divide it into two. And this way we're getting the most out of every piece of foliage. And then I've got kind of, this is, you can always tell, like, does it hit the bottom of the vase? If I hold it up to the side of the vase, is the stem gonna hit the bottom? Is the foliage gonna be out of the water? That's kind of a good gauge for, is it too short? If it were like half that height, you know, it would be sitting below the water line. That's a little bit too short. We really don't want our, I'm gonna leave this one because it's already pretty pruned up. We don't really want anything to be so short that if your water level were to drop lower, the stems would be out of water. You want to feel as you're designing that like clunk of your foliage. I kind of like this shape of this salal. This is a really interesting shape that's got almost a bend in it. So I think I might leave this one instead of chopping it. It's always a fun practice to try to use the stems in their naturalistic shape. A little more gardeny that way. And you know, I truly do believe that floral design in itself is an exercise in letting go of perfection. Every flower is going to be a little bit different, and getting to practice week to week on letting go of perfection, letting the flowers speak in the most beautiful way is such a great practice to cultivate. All right, I've kind of picked through, all my stems. I'll leave a couple, I think, to the side. And my easy trick for getting my green up started. Again, your green up is what is going to help create the shape of your arrangement. So let's pretend that this is like a little bubble. So if you want a more rounded shape, think about filling out that bubble. If you want something that's more architectural, asymmetric, your greenery are gonna create those shapes. So we'll start by taking some of your pruned salal pieces. I learned this very early on as a florist, and it helps when you need to design something quickly, but it's also really, really easy. You'll bundle your pruned salal pieces in your hand, maybe just 3. This one's almost too short, but I'm gonna try to use it anyway. Pull them up or down, use like a little loose hand, and then you can trim at the shortest stem. Cut at an angle, got my nice sharp clippers, and then pop it right into your vase. And this will get you started. This gets your green up filled out a little bit more, and now I can take some of my taller pieces of salal and begin to build. This is that cool one that I'm gonna save in case I wanna have a super bendy piece. Oh, this one's kind of bendy too. So let's start adding our longer pieces. Now that we've got this short base in there, we can build out that bubble. And And use your hands if you need to kind of get this greenery really just the way you like it. Some florists will use chicken wire in their arrangements or floral frog to help. I've got a clear vase, so I'm just going to use the stems themselves. Okay, I'm building some height. Here's my little bubble. I've got my bubble of greenery. Check out the back side. This is a good start. I'm going to put some of this foliage to the side in case I need it. And now we can start going in with our leucadendron pads. Check these babies out, so pretty. I'm gonna fold back the center of the pod because I really want this to showcase, almost as if it's a flower. And you can do this with, it's called reflexing. This is a pretty aggressive version. You can do this with a pod like a leucadendron because it doesn't have such delicate petals. You know, a flower, you can reflex, but you want to be extra gentle because this is so sturdy. I can go in there a few times and just open up that floral part of it. I'm just pulling that back, exposing that little center pod. Lost one little leaf there, but I'm not too worried about that. One more. Pulling back all those leaves. And then I'm going to create a little bit of a little bit more height with these. Strip off the bottom of your leucadendron, just like you're stripping herbs. You could use your hand or your finger. Now, a lot of times I'll divide these into 2 or 3 pieces, but I kind of want to have some height, and since we have 3, I can add these. I'm going to trim this up just a little bit. Such long stems. All right, let's see where that gets me. Try that out. A little tall, not quite connecting our foliage to our leucadendron just yet. Okay, I've got that lovely pod. Now I'm going to rotate, add and rotate, and we'll insert it at a 45-degree angle. So give that a try. 1, 2, and then, yep, you guessed it, right there. That's where the third will go. You may even make this one a little bit taller. See how that looks. There we go, that's kind of fun. We've got this nice little visual, and I think I need some more salal to just connect those 2 layers there. Got the short salal pieces and then my lovely leucadendron greenery. Perfect. Let's start adding our solidago next. This lovely yellow with pops of bronze stem-dyed solidago. I use a lot in the fall. And then I think that, you know, I've kind of got this little triangle shape going on. I've got a little space in here and down here that I could fill in with some color. So I think I'm gonna go in there, add a little puff of solidago, and then maybe one over here. Nice 45-degree angle, insertion. You may even want to just edit this a little bit. Floral design is really all about editing. So you're taking away the things from your stems that aren't serving the aesthetics of the arrangement, and then even the design itself. You're sort of editing and manipulating as you go along. Let's get our mums in there next. Pull these out. Because I've got quite a tall vase, I'm gonna try to keep some length on these mums. First step, strip off all your foliage. Move this out of the way for a second. All that foliage really is just gonna go bad. So pull that off. It's the first thing to go bad. And you know, is it serving the aesthetics of your design? Sometimes it does, but in this case, I think no. Now check your mum. There's usually sometimes these little broken stems. Just go in with your clippers and like nip that down. It's not serving the aesthetics. Take it off. Now if you have a tall enough stem, let's see, I think we could probably stem split this. So you're gonna find that joint point. And this is a skill that you'll use for a lot of stems. Being able to identify right where, if you make that split, you're not gonna have any stems showing. You'll just have flowers. And while this is really our more like attractive piece, this is just as useful, just in a different way. So we'll probably put this in the back to kind of bulk up my a little tall. Pull that out. A little pop of orange. And if your mums are more closed than mine, don't stress. They will start to open up as they're exposed to warm air. I'm gonna pull off some of these lower stems and then add that nice pop of orange in the front and really fill out more of this vase. Here's my other stem of mum. Who doesn't love mums in the fall? I love them for autumnal arrangements. They absolutely last forever and they just feel so harvesty. Got a little smattering of orange here, lower in the arrangement, and some a bit more up here. Now, alternatively, you could also add a little bit to the back. I've been kind of doing this as more of a front-facing style, but you could always add a little interest, divide up your color so that you've got a little bit of that orange on the other side. I almost want to use these little guys in my arrangement and like pop them in on this side, but unfortunately their stems are just so short that they really risk being out of water. So they probably, you know, they might even only last a day, and then as the water level gets lower, they'll be out of water. All right, next let's do our Alstroemeria. Take a second to clean the workspace up. It always helps me to have, you know, a visual workspace free of stems so that I can see what my design looks like. Another really helpful tip that I use a lot is elevating your arrangement. So I'm sitting right now, but you may be designing standing. And if you're tall like me, you might need a little something to prop your design up, get it towards eye level. So don't be afraid to get a little something to prop up your arrangement on, if that helps you. Suggesting my Solidago here. Ooh, all right, we got our fluffy Alstroemeria lilies. So pretty. Strip these down, get all of that foliage off the stem, and then some of this too. I always go in at the base when I'm working with Alstroemeria. editing it down. So I've cleaned up this whole length of stem and right around this little base, just so that you can see the flowers a little bit more. I like these little top pieces, so I usually keep those, maybe one or two. It's looking a little on the yellow side. And as your arrangement ages, you can always go in and pull off the foliage. That'll kind of also help to extend, the life of your design. I've got this kind of height here, so I'll add a little pop of yellow up on this side. It's looking pretty. I'm trying to kind of find a spot for each flower. And then, oh, I broke a stem. Learning lesson. Careful when you're trimming your stems. I'll add this one. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. So I'll just have 2, but you will have 3 of these Alstroemeria. You can spread out that yellow color. We're kind of staying in the same color family. Yellow, red, orange, warm colors. That's a really nice way to have your arrangement feel cohesive, is sticking to one color family. So unfortunately I broke my Alstroemeria, but you could do another little pop of yellow right here. 1, 2, 3. Nice, making nice little triangles. Got my reds, my oranges, my yellows, and now it's time for the finishing touch. Our beautiful sunflower. And I like to create moments with my flowers. So I might even pair these together to sort of play off of each other. And since this has got quite a nice large head, I'll put it a little lower in my arrangement. And then I'll add my heart's rose up here. Roses do want to have a little extra attention, so just check the outside of your rose. You may even want to do a little blow it to open it up. It'll also open up on its own. So I'll put this a little higher. Roses really like to stay hydrated, so you want to get them into water as soon as possible. All right, there it is, our beautiful harvest color style arrangement. I've designed it in a mason jar, but if you do want to pop this into your birch vase, I just wanted to show you that option. So I've pre-filled this vase. I like to create low arrangements when I'm designing for a centerpiece. So you could even take this gorgeous rust yellow and red and just cut it down just a little bit and pop it into, I'm gonna go even lower, our customary birch box. And that, oh, gorgeous. So if you have one of these around and want to repurpose it for your Thanksgiving arrangement, it's kind of the perfect time for a little birch box. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Be well. Don't forget to change the water in your arrangement so it looks spectacular until Thursday. Enjoy it now, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.